Hey everybody, I'm on scene for a honeybee rescue. We've got a hive that, oh look at my shirt, see? Save the bees. Got a hive that really just moved into this tree on Thursday, so they're not very well established, and I'm really hoping that they'll be an easy move out. Otherwise these can take a couple of weeks, these trap outs. So let me turn the camera around and we will go look at the colony. So it looks like they've got a few different entrance holes here. Hi guys. I'm gonna try to get you out into a new home. So what I'm gonna do here, I've got that board leaning up against the car. Basically it's gonna just cover this whole area all the way around, up and down. Small hole in the center. I've got a piece of PVC pipe that we can put through it, and that will go into a small hive box that I've brought with me, and then we'll put an exit cone on it with some aluminum screen. It'll allow the bees to be able to come out of the new hive but not get back in very easily, and then we'll have that exit right into the new hive box. I've brought some pheromone attractant with me that I can spray around the entrance of the box, and hopefully, since they haven't been in here too long and haven't really only been here a couple days, really not much time to build up any comb, and I brought some frames of brood comb with me, so hopefully that'll be attractive to the bees and they will just move into the box and I can get them out of this homeowner's hair and bring them home to my bee yard. Alright, so here are some of the things I've brought with me. You can see I've got a 5-frame nuke box. I'm only going to put 4 frames in it because we have to have room for this entrance piece. And I've brought some spray attractant. It's called Swarm Commander. It's got lemongrass oil and a few other natural substances that mimic some of the bee pheromones. It attracts them away from where they're at and hopefully into something else. And got some fairly decent brood comb here, so they can start putting resources into this right away, and the queen can actually lay in it right away. Like I said, they've been in this tree a couple of days, not really a lot of time to draw out a lot of comb. They might have a little bit of comb drawn to just start putting some foraging resources in, but not a whole lot. So hopefully this will be an easy job. So basically what I'm going to do now is find a way to I've got a hole saw, like a drywall hole saw, and I'm just gonna, ooh, ice cream man's here. It's gonna draw a hole around that tray set, and then I'm gonna cut a hole that this can fit through, and then I'll duct tape it in place to seal it in place, and then that way at least I can close off the entrance to that tree and have the only entrance and exit be this small section of PVC pipe. And then I'll put the screen cone on the end of that inside of the hive box, so that when they come out of the tree they'll be in the hive box, and then the only way out to the outside will be through the hive box, and then when they come back in they're not going to be able to get back in the tree. They're going to go in the hive box, so the foragers coming back with nectar and pollen, they are going to want to deposit that in there, and then hopefully the other bees will start to come out. Worst case, I might have to bring in a frame of open brood. That will attract any nurse bees that are in the colony to come out of the tree and start working with the uncapped larvae. And then hopefully that will also attract the queen to come out as well. And if obviously we can get the queen out, we'll have the colony, and I'll bring them home to my bee yard. Okay, so I've traced a hole here using that piece of PVC. You know, any difference in diameter or whatnot, I'll just, you know, tape it in place with duct tape. That'll be good enough. This is just a regular dry hole saw. I'm not even sure what kind of wood this is. It's some kind of particle board. I just found a scrap laying at home. It's actually the perfect size for what I need. So what I'm going to do, once we get the piece of PVC pipe in there, I am going to get some brackets. I forgot those, but Home Depot's only a couple miles away from this guy's house. I'll just run over there and get some brackets to drill through this into the tree, and then the brackets will hold up the hive box, and then I can just get this all together and see where we go. All right, step 2 is done. Took a little longer than I would have liked. A couple trips to Home Depot. One to get a battery charger for my drill. Was gonna get I was gonna use that plaster saw, but it wasn't working on this type of material, so I got a paddle bit instead. It's the exact diameter of that pipe, so I had to move it around a little bit to make a little bit bigger hole. So now I'm gonna get this duct taped into place. All right, I've got the PVC pipe anchored into place. This will act as an exit for the bees, and then we're going to fashion a cone so that they can get out but can't get back in. It's also anchored in the back here with a couple 4 small strips of the duct tape, so shouldn't be going anywhere for the temporary use that we're doing. All right, now I've got a makeshift cone attached here made of aluminum screen. I would have preferred 1/8 inch hardware cloth, but nobody in my area had it. But this is seeming to hold a good shape. So I've tapered the end here to be just large enough for a bee to get out, and sometimes they carry their dead out of the colony, so they have to have room for, you know, 2 bees together. So that should be just about enough for them, and I can adjust that if needed. So everything is pretty well anchored here for temporary use anyway. I'm going to make a permanent one of these, maybe with outdoor plywood, but now I have to somehow get that inside of my hive box. Shouldn't be too big of a issue. Okay, so I made a hole in the back of this 5-frame nuke box. Once again, just 4 frames in it, so there's room for the bees to come in the center there. And then there's a outlet hole here that just that yellow plastic cap I can pull out, and might widen the hole a little bit so that the PVC pipe actually goes in there for a little more stability. But this is actually going to sit. I'm going to put a couple of brackets attached to the board, screwed through the board into the tree to hold this on. So it probably shouldn't matter if I have it going all the way into the box, or if I just have this outlet inside the box. Alright, next step is going to be securing this board with the exit only cone over the area where the bees are able to go in and out. So basically I'm just going to hold it up to about here, screw it into place, and then pad out any areas underneath and behind it. I've got some steel wool to pack into the various voids here that we see, and what I'll try to do is just make it so that the only way they can get out of there is through that exit tube, and then we'll have that exit tube. Once the board's in place, I'll put some brackets in place so that the box can sit on the brackets. We'll make sure that that exit tube goes right into the box as far as we can go with it, and then the bees will just come in and out of the box. They'll only be able to come out of the tree, hopefully. So eventually we'll have foragers bringing in pollen, nectar, things like that, unable to get back into the colony. and the colony's only been here a couple days, so they really can't have much resources in there. And I'm hoping that the queen realizes there's comb already made. I'm sure the bees will send some kind of signal, and we're hoping that they'll just move into the box. So hopefully this will be a quick one. Like I said, these trap outs can take a few weeks if they're established, but I don't think these guys are established, so I think we should do okay. Okay, I've got a few good anchor points for the board. I was almost going to scrap the board in favor of just trying to screen everything up, but I think it's important to have the board as an anchor point for the shelving brackets. You can see here the foragers are coming back to the nest, and they're kind of all gathering, figuring out how to get in. They're going to be able to get in. There are quite a few areas where they can just squeak right through, and there's no way to get this board to form fit. So what I'm going to do is just screen over the exterior of this, and then once it's all screened in, literally the only way to get out is going to be through this exit cone into the hive box, and they won't be able to get back in, or at least not very easily at all. So I'm about to embark on that part of this journey. All right, we're got a little bit of sunlight left. We're getting ready to put the box on. You can see foragers all congregating, trying to get back into the hive. They're not going to be able to, but hopefully they'll go into the box once I spray it with the queen pheromone. And you can see that I did the best I could to seal off each of the edges. I don't think anybody's going to be getting in, but I'll have the homeowner let me know if there are some weak spots. I'll come and shore those up. And but here you can see those brackets went on that board nicely. This will be a nice setup for any further trap outs. And again, hoping this one's going to be easier because they've only been in here a couple days and really haven't got a chance to get established. And I'm hoping they're going to like the already drawn comb that is in the nuke box. All right, we are done just in time for sundown. I got some little friends flying around my hands. This is well secured with duct tape to these anchor bars, these shelving unit brackets here. Of course, those are screwed through the board. Some are into the tree, some aren't because of gaps. So I put some extra duct tape up at the top here, since it's kind of tilting upward. So the leverage point's going to be right here anyway, so hopefully that'll keep, it shouldn't be a problem. And I've sprayed some of the queen pheromone on the opening here. I see there's a couple bees inside. There's one right there. I don't know if you can quite see him because it's getting dark, but yep, there's definitely a bee in there. So we're gonna leave it like this overnight. It's about 45 minutes from my house, so I'm just gonna have the homeowner report to me how things are going, take some pictures, see if there appear to be any areas where the bees are still able to access the tree. Otherwise, hopefully they'll access it through the box and start putting their nectar and pollen that the foragers are gathering in the comb that's already in the box. And I think from there, once they start putting nectar and stuff in there, hopefully it'll entice the queen to come out. If it doesn't look like she's doing anything, I'll bring in a frame of uncapped brood, and that should draw her and the nurse bees out. But I think I'm done for the evening. We're going to see how this works out.